Hello, I'm Julie. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a cute slider page in your journal using my August subscription kit from Hubman and Chubgirl, Safari Adventure. I'm not going to do a detailed unboxing. I'll just do a quick overview to show you everything you get. In the Ultimate sub box, you get a unique enamel pin, 2 washi tapes, Safari Time and Safari Adventure, 5 adorably cute vinyl die cut stickers, the Hobonichi subscription kit, which comes with these 6 sticker sheets. Then there's the planner subscription with 6 different sticker sheets. In the journal subscription, you get 10 of these smaller sticker sheets. The cheapest subscription is the sticker subscription. You get this variety pack of 7 sticker sheets in different finishes, such as washi, foil, or holographic. Then no matter which subscription you have signed up to, you will get these 3 large sticker sheets, along with 2 vinyl die cuts. There's also a mystery gift every month, and this month it was this cute little sticky notepad. So now you've seen everything in the box, let's get creating. I'm not actually going to be cutting into my journal, which is a Hubman and Chubgirl journal. You can do that, but the paper is only, I think, 115 GSM thick, I believe. And though it will probably work, I like to do things my way. So I'm going to be having these little characters sliding down the page, because as soon as I saw this, that's what came into my mind, that they are travelling through the jungle looking at all the animals. The instructions I'm giving today are for a vertical slider, but you can use them for a horizontal slider as well. First thing you need to do is measure the page that you want the slider to be on. So I'm having it on this page, but because I don't want the card that I'm going to stick in to go right up to the very edge, particularly because if it does butt up against the stitched part, then you do have issues when you are folding your journal. I've adjusted it a little bit to allow a little border around the edge, which I could add some washi to or simply draw a design. I'm going to get some card. I'm a card maker and scrapbooker, so I have plenty of card. I tend to use American Crafts cardstock. This is my Fiskars paper trimmer, which has this handy pull-out ruler if you are working with larger card sizes. So I'm going to do 7.5. inches by 5 inches. I've chosen a light green because I thought I could add some of the darker leaves on top. Obviously you will choose cardstock to go with whatever it is that you want to slide across the page. I always recommend double checking everything, particularly early on in the process, because I do often make mistakes. So I'm having a look, and I think that I've left enough of a border that I could add some washi or draw around, so that's fine. This is my first attempt at a slider mechanism, which is actually quite surprising because I am a card maker and I do sell 3-dimensional cards, but I've never tried it in any of the cards that I've sold before. If you've got a cutting mat with measurements on it, you could use that, but I will use a ruler to find the middle. for that as a little guide for me. Now I'm not going to take the slider right to the top. That might even be too far. You need to think of what it is that you're sliding. So if this is going to slide within the page, I don't want it to go too high. So I could have used the smaller image of the safari truck, but I've decided to go with the big one. So I'm kind of going to mark here as the top and about here at the bottom. It doesn't matter if it slides above or below the page, but you do want to be too careful not to get too close to the top or the bottom of the card, because you are going to need room to stick it to your page. So I'm not going to cut down the line. I'm going to move just slightly beside it. And I'm going to cut from here to here. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same. Hoping that you can see what I'm doing okay. You need to make the slit at least 1/2 centimetre wide. So that's where you're going to have your mechanism for the sliding. Remove it, and you can see that's probably about as narrow as you can make it, but I'm going to go with that. Now I'm going to be adding a little bit of a scene onto the top of this, so that will make it a little bit more complicated, but I want to show you the slider mechanism part first and how that works, and then I'll show you how I'm going to adapt it for my journal. Now I know some people use a penny coin for sliders, but that's a little bit too bulky for my planner. So I've taken this 250 GSM card that I think is fairly sturdy, and I'm going to cut myself just a little square. I haven't even measured it. I don't think it needs to be that accurate. And what I'm going to do, get some foam pads or foam tape. It needs to be one that you know is good at sticking. The one that our pound shop sells is actually quite good. And I'm going to cut just a thin slither that will hopefully fit here. If it doesn't fit, then I'll trim it, but let's have a little look. It's not really moving the way it should, so I think I might need to make the slit a little bit wider. It's about 8 millimeters wide now, and I think that's going to allow me to secure it a little bit better. So I've been able to add a wider strip to my piece of card, and I've done it going all the way to the top and bottom. You can see it moves up and down, and the idea would be that you stick this on and then this can move up and down with it. Now I found out that I could take this a little bit higher than I thought, so I've moved it up a little bit. So it's all about playing around with whatever stickers you have first before you commit to sticking anything down. Now, before I do stick this down to make the slider, I want to have a little path for them to be on, and then I was going to decorate around them with leaves, taking my inspiration from the journal card. I'm not sure whether I'll have a couple of animals popping out as well, we'll see. So what I want to do is make myself a little dirt track, and I love that I'm getting to use a bit more of my scrapbooking stash. And cut myself a strip from this sheet. And then I want to have it slanted, so sort of guessed that a little bit, but something like that. I haven't practiced this before, so I don't know exactly how it's going to work. Hoping I've cut this okay. So I need the wider road at the bottom. Let's just check the car. I think it's about wide enough. A little bit lower. Like that, I think. So I'll just make a little mark. I'll probably use double-sided sticky tape to stick this down. Now, if you haven't made a slider before and you want it to be nice and simple, then I wouldn't recommend trying to build up a scene like I'm doing. Just make the base plate and add your sticker to it. But I'm a little bit extra and want to build up a whole scene. I actually did want to initially create a zigzag slider and have the safari truck going like that, which I think I could have done, but I had to have a word with myself and say, Julie, don't overcomplicate things. This is your first slider mechanism, so keep it as simple as you can. So I've not put anything in the middle because obviously I'm going to need to have the slit there. So it's not very even, but it doesn't matter because who says the road has to be even? And when I've added leaves, that will cover that up. So now I get my cutting mat out and I cut this out again. The good thing about having the extra layer of card is that it will make the slider a little bit stronger because it will have that extra thickness. that's what it looks like now. Hopefully you're imagining them riding down the road. I think I could have made it even narrower, but we'll let it go. And now I need to stick this into my journal with the slider mechanism. So you need to put double-sided sticky tape or glue around the edges of the page. It's probably a good time to mention that I am an affiliate for Hubman and Chubgirl, and if you haven't shopped with them before, I have a one-use code, Julie15, for 15% off your order, though it doesn't work on subscriptions. You can usually buy items individually without having to subscribe, although it does work out a little bit more expensive. And if you have already used my code, but you're shopping anyway, I'd really appreciate you using my link because I still get credit. And it lets Hubman and Chubgirl know that you are enjoying my content using their products. So in this journal, I'm having a whole month. That's the same theme. Although I didn't subscribe to the Fairy Garden in September, so I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing for September. Just having a little check that I haven't narrowed the slot by adding that extra layer. I think it's good. So I'm going to put it in and then stick the page down. Leaving a little bit of room around the outside. Like that. So I'm checking my slider mechanism still works, and it does. I could add a double layer of foam tape here, but I'm really trying not to bulk this planner up because I don't know how these journals hold up to lots of content, and I've already done things like have these fold out flat pages, so I imagine by the end of the year this is going to be quite bulky. So I'm not going to stick it on yet, although that's what it will be like because I want to decorate around. I have this leaf washi tape which is perfect to make the border with, and because it's washi and very thin, it's not going to matter being very close to the stitched part. So if you're making a page with a slider, then that's a perfect solution for a border, or you could get your pens out and draw something around the edges. I'm sure that one of these days I'm going to cut the ribbon in the journal accidentally. Now normally I wouldn't overlap the washi like that, I would cut it, but because I want to create the impression of overlapping leaves, I think that's fine. Now here's a little tip, you can use every part of your sticker sheet. So I thought I would use the leaves at the top of these sticker sheets to add to the corners of the page. It does go a little bit against my instincts to cut a sheet. It's a little bit like when I'm watching Mary Ellen from Planning with Bumble and she cuts right into her sticker books. But I want to use these leaves, so I'm going to cut into this design. I won't be able to cut all the blue sky out, but enough I think so that it won't really matter. So that's a little tip. Sometimes there's a pattern on the backing and you could use that as a little bit of washi. So now I've got 4 corners that I could use like that. And I want to build up leaves around the road and maybe have some animals popping out like this card. I do have these washi leaves that would go really well with the washi. I don't know if there's going to be enough to do all of that area, or there are the ones on the sticker sheet, although they are smaller. I could combine the two, but I'd rather not. I think it's because these have the white edge around them that I'd rather use the others. So I might go with the washi ones. Now I might choose some animals to pop out here. I like the little giraffe. I think it's going to be a lot smaller than these, but I don't think that matters. So let's do the sticking on, and maybe we'll have the lion on this side. Because there's a little bit more to fill on that side. And the giraffe here. Do I want any more animals peeping out? Could maybe have some at the top. Although we only got the 4 animals: elephant, zebra, lion and giraffe. I think that's all there are. Let's see if we can just have these little faces maybe peeping out. And then I won't need quite so many leaves to fill up the space. You definitely get more than enough with the Ultimate collection to do a whole month's worth of spreads. For me personally, I'm not as keen on the Hobonichi kit and the planner kit, and I can do without the washi. So I did skip the last month's subscription, although I did have a bit of FOMO. But if it's not a must-have kit for me, I'm trying to either skip or buy one of the cheaper subscriptions, because there is plenty in even just a sticker subscription for me to make probably a month's worth of spreads, because I supplement it with other things from my scrapbooking and planner stash. The only thing I do mind about not getting the Ultimate subscription is the fact that you don't get the lovely box that it comes in. I don't know if you're like me, but I love a pretty box, although I have so many and don't use them, but of course I won't throw them away. So I'm thinking of actually cutting out maybe some of these little bits, see how that looks. To fill up some of the spaces. So I'll be back when that's done. I managed to use quite a bit of this sheet, although I don't know if you're like me, sometimes I'm doing something in my journal and a voice in my head is going, Julie, why are you doing this? It was so fiddly to cut those tiny pieces and add them to the background, and I realised about 5 minutes after I started that I probably could have just made it easier on myself by running the washi over the green card, and it would have created the same overlapping effect. But never mind, I'm happy with how it's looking now. There aren't so many green gaps. So I think we're ready to add the Jeep on and see if the slider works. Let's get the backing off. So I won't be peeling the backing off the vinyl die cut. Let's hope it is a material that will stick. Yeah, it works. Perfect. So there's my slider page. So if you ever fancy trying that in your journal, it can be quite simple. Obviously, you don't have to do all this extra decoration. It's definitely something I'll be trying again in a future video, but I need to finish the pages now. So what to do over on this side? I think we'll keep this page fairly simple and add a couple of boxes. Just using a template that I've got. This is the Fiskars Shape Cutter template. I don't really use my shape cutter tool. I'm not even sure if the blade is working, but the templates have come in handy for drawing boxes. I do really need to practice using the grid guide they sent with my subscription. I haven't done that. Let's run some washi along the bottom. And the top of the page. This is some Planything washi. That's one of my favourites. I use it quite a lot. And actually I think we will go round all four. I'll add the August at the top. And a couple of the characters. I have to say that this elephant with the legs crossed makes me laugh every time I look at it, because it looks like it's someone who's desperate to go to the toilet. And I'm not really sure what this zebra is doing. Is that meant to be like a little hand that he's like got in front of his eyes and he's looking? I think maybe. Let's add a few leaves. I don't like that one for some reason. Maybe add another one with it. I think that's a bit better. And I'll add the mould liner lines and be back. It still looks a little bit plain to me, so I'm going to add a couple more stickers. Really love how these slider pages have turned out. And because I stuck the page in, I don't have any issue with creating pages on the reverse side, whereas if I'd actually cut the page in the journal, I would have had to stick this page down and I would have lost a page. So that's another reason I did it the way I did. So next time, who knows, maybe I will try that zigzag slider idea or a horizontal slider. Remember, you can do exactly the same thing and have something sliding across the page horizontally. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and this fun slider idea, and it's something that you might want to try in your journal. If you're interested in seeing how I made these flat pages that I showed earlier, then I'll link the video on screen here, so you can go to that video now. YouTube seems to be making a lot of changes at the moment, so I do hope that you will like this video or make a comment so that it gets pushed out to other people who might be interested. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.